I'm curious how and when you found out about the ventriloquism, what the writers said to you, how much studying you got to do, and what that process was like.
It and worked with two different puppets. It was phenomenal. I had the best time of my life. I now am like, how can we bring Avenue Q back to Broadway so I can be in this revival? Because I was having too much fun. It was a blast. And the thing that I had been asking the Joes for is like, yeah, I want to do something weird and quirky this season. Like whatever the thing is. And so when I saw that she was now working with a puppet named Murray, I was like, this is exactly what I've been craving comedically, but also historically. It's so great to know that Alberta, or Esther Greene, had a skill before she was this famous jazz singer. And it's just truly an insight into the creative process, that our journeys are not linear as creatives. And I do really relate to Alberta so much because I'm like, when I think about all the things, my road to success as an actor, I had so many side hustles, and so it's just great to see this version of her outside of her being the braggadocious diva that we know her to be.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned the name change, and I'm curious what that does for you as an actor. So I imagine that's not something that gets brought up every single episode. But as you've been playing Alberta post name change, how much is that, and also the ventriloquism, kind of playing into what you know now about her, and how much of that is something you're kind of having to put away because it's not in the front burner about the storytelling?
Yeah, for sure. It's essentially she's the artist formerly known as Prince. In many ways, like that's really what it is. And so and it's also very funny because when I think about me as a Jamaican, like I have aunts and uncles that like if they pass away, that's when I find out their real name. And I'm like, wait, your name was not Fred this whole time. It's actually like Lucius, like what, like what's going on? And so, Alberta is, her reinvention of herself. It truly is. And so that's who she is. That's who she died as. She died performing. And so that's who she will always be. But I think to, her family and her close friends, she's Esther. And I think that's really beautiful. And also, it shows much of her vulnerability that she decides to share that with Pete, who is her boyfriend this season. And so I love that he gets that part of her because it keeps opening her up more and more.
Well, quickly just talk about there's the mention that she has the Murray's hat on her head now.
Yes.
How is that playing into kind of your knowledge of who this woman is, that she kept this part of herself even as she took on the Alberta name?
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I also think that the hat is so significant, not only to Alberta, but also to me as an actor, because in my audition, I wore a hat and the Joes told me to take it off because it was too distracting. And so I actually thought I lost the role due to this hat. And then I did the screen test, sans hat, and then I booked the role, and then now the character has a hat. So this hat has been a runner since season one, since my audition. And so it's not even just significant to Alberta, it's significant to me too as well.
You never know what is going to become so important in
Yeah,
your.
I was like, and then it's like that hat becomes the thing that like Thorfinn is constantly bullying her on. Like it's just become it has a life of its own. It really does. So I'm so happy that it finally gets to have the back story that it deserves.
Yeah. You mentioned her opening up to Pete, and we got that lovely moment, and we also got the moment where she does sacrifice this piece of herself to
Mhm.
Sam, so that way Sam can utilize this for the good of, herself as well. What was it like playing the kind of the softer, sweeter, gentler moments juxtaposed with the more kind of outrageous ventriloquist moments for you as an actor in this
You
episode?
know what? I absolutely love it because it allows me as an actor to use all of my resources and my all my toolbox. I think the beauty of this show is that when I think about Alberta, if she were to exist if the ghost were to exist in the 90s, right? This black character may not have been as fully realized, but the Joes and our incredible writers have allowed me such space to not only share her, her diva energy, but also her vulnerability. I've now been, seen as a romantic lead as well too. I've had many suitors on this show. And so, as a plus size black woman, it means the world to me that, when this show finally ends, that I have a resume for 5, 6, 7 years that I can show that I can do it all. I was like, and not only just, being a romantic lead and being a diva, it's like I can sing, I can dance, and if you need me to pop out a puppet, I can do that as well too. And so I feel really blessed to be playing this character because it has challenged me and has inspired me in so many ways beyond my imagination.